Hello. Welcome to episode 36 of the Yarnivore podcast. I am Sadie. I will be your host. I'm also known as Blue Ruin on Ravelry and Sadie Ruin on Twitter and Instagram. Our Ravelry group is the Yarnivorous group. Please feel free to come over and join. It is a lovely Friday, July 8th. Tomorrow's my mother's birthday. Today is Dawn's birthday. Happy birthday, Dawn. Knit and Wolf of the Wolf Farms podcast. Happy birthday. And my hair is moist because I just finished washing it, wetting it down, getting ready for the day. So it's still a little moist. Moist. I'm just going to say moist a lot. If you're one of the people who hates the word moist, I apologize. In that ever so Canadian way of apologizing. It's been a week. It's been a long week. I know it was short week, but it felt so long because it was just so much going on in life. And of course, it was a long week for the hubby at work, and that always means that it's going to be a longer week for me because there's less hubby time, and that seems to make the week longer. And I have no finished objects. I thought I might have the socks done by today, but I didn't even work on them this week. I didn't. I had worked on them, and then I didn't. But we want to go see The Secret Life of Pets this weekend. Yeah, I know. We're in our 30s and we have to go see the kids' movies. We just happen to like them a lot. But The Secret Life of Pets, I've been waiting for. Like, Finding Dory, The Secret Life of Pets, those are two of the ones where it's like, no, we're going. There's a non-optional clause here. There's a couple that are coming up that he has to see. So we we have our non-optionals and then we have the ones we all want to see. Luckily, my non-optionals are very entertaining to him. Except for the Bridget Jones's Baby. I'm pretty sure he's just going to have to take one for the team on that. But, needless to say, I should be able to, as you can see the parade going on there, I should be able to get a fair bit of knitting during The Secret Life of Pets. Unless I'm completely engrossed like I was during Finding Dory. I don't know. But I am at the stockinette portion right now. Just so happens he has really long feet. Like, if they were for my mom, I'd be doing the toes and it would be done. But I think he's got 10 3/4 inches, length feet. So, yes, Frank? Frank? Meow. 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 She'll stop if you say, "Hey Frank, what's up?" Or, "Frank." She's an odd duck, but she's my odd duck. So anywho, hopefully I get more knitting done on during the Secret Life of Pets. Hopefully in this next week I get the socks finished. They are I looked it up, and pair 12 is actually the stripy socks I'm doing, so this would be pair 13, but the stripy socks I'm doing are also languishing on the needles. I just haven't been in a sock mood. 16 Pairs in 2016, of course, is the knit along. It's being hosted by the Passionate Spinner podcast, which is Tracy, and you can go post all of your sock pictures there, and she draws once a month for free stuff, which is awesome. And yeah, I still want to hit it, but it's like, I might not double. Maybe I'll just 1.5. What's a half of 16? Half of 16 is 8. So 16 and 8. 24. So maybe I'll shoot for 24 pairs. And yes, I totally just used my hand down here. I am one of those people when it comes to math. Never make fun of people using their fingers. We need to do it. Alrighty. So, 4 minutes of absolutely nothing important. Actually, no. We've discussed knitting content. Now let's have some knitting content, shall we? Alrighty. I will grab bags randomly. Hope nothing falls over. In my Mina Makes bag, you may recall the Dirty Martini, which I am knitting out of handspun. I have joined the second skein. giant monstrosity. Look at this. That's what happens when you use your 8-ounce bobbins and, you know, fly like the wind. I actually got pretty far on this. This was one of the reasons the socks didn't get worked on. Was I managed to get the there's no buttons, but I'm going to call it a button band. Collar? The collar band done. Ta-da! So I was working on these, the little inverted. You saw those. And then you have to do a bunch of there's an alternating color in here in the regular pattern. I did not do that because this is already pretty colorful, and I figured, hey, I don't need to add extra colors. So I didn't add any extra colors in any of the spots it said to, and I'm not going to stripe the arms like it calls for because of the nature of hand spun, you really don't need to do that. So I started the sleeve because we all know how much I love sleeves, and I got a little bit done on the sleeve. I'm hoping that the fact that I really like this means I'm going to power through it quite decently, because now all I have are the sleeves, right? I'd love to have this finished, and I'd love to be able to wear it. I did try it on. It's going to need to be blocked just a little bit to get it to the place I want it to sit on me, but all in all, it's going to fit pretty decently. And lately I've been having things show up too big, so if I can block it to be the right size and it's not going to be too small, that's fine for me. So I am down to the first arm. And that is out of a combination spin that I did using Tracy's bonus episode on spinning sweater quantities, which you can find on the Passionate Spinner YouTube channel. I used 5 Into the Worlds, I want to say. It's on its project page, which I will link in the Ravelry show notes, because people seem to enjoy that. And I wrote down, I didn't write down, but in the notes for this particular project are all of the colors I used and mixed. I know there's Don't Blink, The Vampires of Venice, Moriarty, and there's a couple more, and they're all there. So feel free to look it up there. It's the Dirty Martini by Modish Knits, who I believe is Ella Torrente. But it's Modish Knits. And I really like her because her styles do go up to a higher bust size. I'm really into making sure that they have a higher bust size. If I'm the largest bust size, I start to kind of wonder what the heck's going on there, because I'm not the biggest woman I know, and I think everybody should be able to knit stuff. There was a really nice not a camisole, but like a tank top I saw on Instagram, and the designer had posted it, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, and it uses many colors, so I should go look it up. And I looked it up, and the largest size wouldn't fit me, and that was an extra large, and I was like, there's no way. So I responded on Instagram, and I said, you know, I really like it, but it's just too small for me. No response. Of course not, because, you know, oh, the voices of large women. In my Ellison bag, which I love, which loves me. There's lots of love going on in this bag, which is good, because this is the not doomed, it's actually coming along quite nicely. This is the husband hoodie, which we haven't seen in a little bit. He, of course, was at work, and other armed forces people will probably, or I guess not all armed forces, but at least the Navy people will understand that they're underway. I need to have this done before they go underway. There is now a deadline for me to get this done, so I pulled it out and worked on it, of course, during the duty day of great lonelytude. And so This is it's so hard to show because the cables naturally really pull in, so it looks like this huge long worm, but it actually isn't. Once you put it on a human body, it stretches out really nicely and shows off this gorgeous, there you go. It's a lovely cable. It's just a beast in the Raglan increases. Right now I'm just doing the same little cable over and over again. And it's much more manageable, except when you're under the influence of like Tylenol allergy and you start getting a little drowsy, because the cabling on both sides will start to get to you. However, I did get another repeat dud from the armpit. This is the armpit cast on right here. So there you go. I need a whole bunch more. I should actually measure the repeat and see how many more repeats I need to do. From what I understand, I think I need to have 17 inches to hit where he wants it to hit before I hit the ribbing. Or around there, because you can always lengthen the ribbing if need be. This is out of Knitter's Nightmare Wickedly Worsted in the colorway Neptune. I have saved enough for myself to do all of this, but it's getting so big it's not going to fit in this bag anymore. Which is fine, this bag can be repurposed for something else, but what the heck am I going to keep it in when it doesn't fit in this bag anymore? This is a big bag. Might have to get one of those massive sweater bags from Fat Squirrel. Because, yeah. So, there we go. And of course this is the Princess Bride. Because everybody needs the Princess Bride in their life. I know I do. I appear to have a drinking problem today. Let's just splish splash all over ourselves, shall we? All gets caught on the boob shelf anyway. You know what I'm talking about, the boob shelf. The bigger the boobs, the more you have the shelf and everything, you know. Ooh, crumbs. Or if you're at the movies, you're just like, you could just go in and get the popcorn that fell in there, if you're me. In my yarn-friendly bag, which is, of course, Pokemon. And if you haven't started, or if you're a Pokemon fan, if you're not a Pokemon fan, if you have children and you want to get them more active, there is a new app. And on the 20th, they released the actual, like, there's a little thing you can buy to use. But there's an app which you use on your phone or your touch or whatever. Or Android, they also have the Android equivalent. And it's called Pokemon Go, and you go out and you catch Pokemon in the real world. I'm obsessed with it. Yesterday I had to go get stuff at Target. Like catching them in the Target parking lot. Jigglypuff. I am the one crazy person. And then I realized that it's probably not a good thing for me to be wandering around like a crazy person with my phone. So I don't know. But today when I go on my walk, I usually walk over, we're pretty close to the Kitsap Memorial State Park. I walk around in there, and if you've seen my Instagram, there are a lot of pictures from the state park there. And there are a couple there that I want to go catch now that it's not raining. It was raining yesterday when I went, so I couldn't, like, really focus. But anywho, sidetrack. This is from Yarn Friendly, who is a Canadian bag maker. And this is my Canada Cal. My Canada Cal project. So the Canada Cal is a knit along that is being hosted by Two Tangled Skeins. So you knit something Canadian from a Canadian designer with a Canadian yarn, etc., etc. The rules are all over there for theirs. And I'm kind of piggybacking off of that. So you can post in their group, you can post in my group too. And so you get one entry if you knit something Canadian or with a Canadian yarn. You get 2 entries if you knit something Canadian with my yarn, because I am Canadian. And you get 3 entries if you knit one of my patterns with a Canadian yarn, with my yarn. So you get 1 if you want, you can get 2 or 3 if you really want to maximize. All my knitting patterns, all 4 of them that are paid for, are buy one get one free with the code Canada till August. So, and this runs till the end of August 30th, I believe. So I am knitting the lemon difficulty, which is just a lovely brioche a 2-color brioche shawl. It calls for a heavily variegated yarn and a semi-solid. So here is one side. There's my little thingy to tell you where I was. There's the other side. I love the way this looks. And I am using Knitter's Nightmare. This is the Boogeyman sock in the Arabesque colorway. And this is the Giant base in Grey Havens, which is also available at the Ravelry store, at the Knitter's Nightmare shop. So I got a fair bit done. Again, for some reason this week was really bad for allergies for me. I had a fair amount of them crop up, so I ended up taking a lot of like Claritins and Tylenol sinuses. Not at the same time, don't worry, I know how to take drugs. But so I got really drowsy, and brioche is not something I can do when I'm really drowsy. For the most part, when I got really drowsy, I read a lot, so I got there. But that is what I am working on in my Pokemon bag, which makes me so happy. It's got my Bulbers all over it, and I love Bulber. I may have to get a Bulbasaur tattoo, which will just like be hysterical, because my husband has a Pokemon tattoo. He wants to get a half sleeve of like all the Pokemon characters. So he'll have a sleeve of Pokemon, and then I'll have my one little Bulbasaur. Be funny. You know it would. It would be humorous. I like humor. I do. I need more humor in my life. America, what are you doing? I just want to slap the country. Can I do that? I feel like I just wish I could slap the country. You know, like how back in the day before it was wrong to slap children, which I do believe it is wrong to slap children, but you know you got the slap every now and then when you're like gonna stick your hand on a stove. It's like America needs that slap from that mother or grandmother, as the case. It would be my nan. My nan would have done that. Not hard, like, you know, but just like the swat. What am I talking about? I don't know. And so talked about the Canada cow. If you're ordering anything from Knitter's Nightmare and you're going to the Super Summer Knit Together, I'm going to be there, and you want to have it delivered there so you can save the shipping, use the code SSK2016 and shipping will be free, and I will bring it to you. That is good until I believe the 18th, when I am going to be packing and getting ready to leave. On the 19th. I think I leave at I have an overnight flight. It's a really nasty flight, but I saved $200 and I can sleep anywhere, so it doesn't really bug me. But I leave here at like midnight and I get there at 10 in the morning. There's one stopover somewhere in one of the Carolinas, and so needless to say, it's going to be a gong show, but until the 18th. And some of the new colors that are appearing in the shop. This one is going up later today / tonight. There you go. It doesn't have a name yet, but it will be going up later today. This one is going up later today as well. After I get home from the chiropractor, who I've been seeing for a few weeks now, and it's starting to help, which is nice. That one is called Voodoo Smile. Then we have, trying not to disturb the whole giant pile, we have, and those are on Giant. These are on Giant as well. These are Arabesque, which is the one I'm using to knit my shawl. These ones came out a little bit darker than the one I'm using, but I like it. Those are in the shop currently. Then we've got this one, which is gorgeous purples. It kind of looks gray, but it's actually a very dark purple. And this is called I Am No Bird. This is the one on Giant. And that is, of course, after Jane Eyre, one of my favorite books of all time. I'm going to try and do a couple based off of books that I like and such, and so I googled a lot of Jane Eyre, and a lot of the covers came up purple, and I thought that was just perfect. So this is it in Batty. It's purples with pinks. and I love it. I think this is the color I'm going to match with the Murakami to do the True Friend, because I really like it. So those are up in the shop, or they are appearing tonight in the shop, just knittersnightmare.com. Lastly, since we talk about what I've been reading, I finished Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. I'm really glad I got it. It was buy 4 get 1 free at Savers back in Minnesota, and that's when I picked this up, because I am relatively indifferent to you know, the things that are like really popular. Generally, I won't read a book if it's too popular unless it's by an author I love, like Margaret Atwood. But so my findings on this are, I had a lot of friends who really loved it. I had one or two who, you know, I liked the first part. I loved the middle part, and I could have cared less about the end part. It's divided into 3 parts. So she eats her way through Italy. She loves her way through India. Or no, she eats her way through Italy, she prays her way through India, and she loves her way through Bali. And yeah, no. I loved the praying in India. I loved the ashram. I kind of enjoyed the eating in the Italian, but I found that she was weight shaming herself in that, and that really bugged me. And I could have cared less about Bali. I really could have. Overall, it was a good summer read that didn't require a lot of mental acuity. I could see my mother really liking this. This is her type of book. It's got a little bit of romance in it, and it's just not my deal. And maybe it's because I am not a divorcee, or maybe it's because I couldn't jive with the character. She didn't make sense to me. Like I said, the pray part was the only part I really got into because I really appreciated that particular part. But the other two, not so much. Feel free to slam me if that is, if it's one of your favorites. I'm not saying it shouldn't be someone's favorite. More power to you if you read it and you really enjoyed it. The character didn't resound for me, unfortunately. Yeah, I know, Petrie. Like, what the heck? And she's making herself know. That is about everything I had to talk about this week. Yeah, I think there's one next week, and then I won't be here the following week because I'll be at SSK. So, yeah, my girl, come here. Come here. Come here. Want to come up here? No. So that is how it's going to be. And I guess I'll see everyone next week. I hope you have a great week, a great weekend, a great next week, and have a happy birthday to Dawn, who probably won't watch this until next week, but I hope you had one, and I hope James spoiled you rotten. I will see y'all next week. Bye.